welcome to the Sunday special edition of the 4-Star Chicago Sports Podcast. I think we're going to have a couple people jumping in with us here shortly. Who? We don't know. We're going to have some guests. It's a crazy Sunday, and we haven't had a chance to get out to everybody, talk to y'all about what everybody's excited about. No more Eberflus on the sideline. Kyle, I know you had to work late. How you feeling this morning, bud?
I'm good, man. A little tired, but I'm good.
Good. Well, let's just say this. Following his 32nd loss in 46 games in nearly 3 seasons after being hired on January 27th of 2022, 2 days after general manager Ryan Poles was hired, Matt Eberflus is fired. He compiled a .304 win percentage in 46 games. He was 5-19 in one-score games, 2-15 in the NFC North. Statistically, he is the third worst coach by percentage in the NFC, or in Bears history, excuse me. I think he's the worst coach. He finished 0-18 on Sundays on the road. But let's just say this. I do believe that this actually brings some accountability back to this organization. It kind of is a step that I personally thought should have happened 3 weeks ago, and maybe we win every game in our division. But it is what it is. We're here now. So, Kyle, how happy were you when this news came across on Friday?
Well, Sean, let's get the round of applause thing.
Oh, okay. I'm all over it.
Matt Eberflus is gone. And Dustin's here.
And Dustin's in the house. What up, Dustin? How you doing, Crafty?
What up? How we doing? Just got pulled over. I was late because I got pulled over by a douchebag cop because I had my phone in my hand.
Kyle got pulled over the other day, too.
For the same thing, yeah.
Fuck these cops.
Yeah, this is great, man. I was just asking Kyle. We just put the round of applause up for Eberflus getting the old heave-ho out of the building. We took him to O'Hare, Terminal F, Gate U. And Kyle, you were just going to speak about.
I think one of them's numbers.
Well, not in this case.
What's up, Bruce?
Kyle, you were just going to speak on how you were feeling about your feelings going into Friday when you heard the news.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, long overdue, right? It should have happened a long time ago. It certainly should have happened after that Patriots game. I mean, when you lose to the worst team in the NFL, you become the worst team in the NFL, and that's what the Bears were the day after they lost to the Patriots. But, I mean, Matt Eberflus time and time again found improbable ways to lose games that the Bears should have won. He's probably solely responsible for at least 4 losses this season. Cumulatively, since he's been here, probably well over 10, double digits for sure. And, I mean, Matt Eberflus just could never get it right. He was like the guy that stole the answer sheet to the test, and he still put the wrong answers down even after he had all the answers. I mean, for me personally, I think this is one of the most important days in Bears history because I think with the right coach and Caleb Williams here, I think this team could be very good for a long time. Dustin, what do you think, man?
I hated the hire when they made it. I hated the fact that they retained him when there was so much good coaching talent out there, guys. And like you could just clearly see it throughout the season. You said 4 games that they lost on. I mean, I'd call it 6, man. 6 games that I would put on coaching this season that could have been wins. This is a talented roster, guys. It's a talented roster and Caleb Williams is showing that he is who we expected him to be. Caleb Williams is playing really well, and they're doing that in spite of the coaching. So the move is great, man. I'm happy that they're making the move. Thomas Brown, I like the fact that he's going to get an audition because I was saying earlier to you guys, I mean, if we're going to go with an offensive coordinator, I mean, that's never been a head coach. Thomas Brown is in the catbird seat for that over a Ben Johnson in my mind because he's going to have the experience with Caleb. He's going to have the opportunity to be the interim head coach. I like the fact that they gave it to him because it's going to help them make their decision with a more informed decision come this offseason. I just think that the way that they did it, guys, the way that they fired Flus, it shows organizational dysfunction still.
Yeah.
It does, right?
Yeah.
You let him go out after the game and do the press conference.
Yeah, press conference.
And then it's worse because the next morning you let him come out and do the press conference and say he's fully expecting, like how, as much as we don't like Flus, guys, like how shitty is that to do to a person? Let him go out there and speak on behalf of your team. And then you know you're going to fire him because you fire him 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can lose sight of the fact that this organization is still ass backwards, guys, and how they do things. And they did it again with this firing. It's a positive, but you can still see why they got to this place in the first place because of how they make decisions. in my
Well,
mind.
Justin, if I could bite off that for a second, a little bit off that apple, the easy
Hey,
thing
Liz.
was to do was to let him finish the season, but it still starts at the top with McCaskey, and we got to hope that this gets nailed right, because since 2011, they fired 3 GMs, 5 head coaches, 3 OCs. In 14 seasons, we have 2 winning seasons under this clown, 2 playoff berths, 0 playoff wins, a 93 and 130 record. I mean, it's just a losing culture. So we really, really gotta hope that we can nail this pick. And I know we all want to just anoint somebody, or Ben Johnson's the answer, this guy's the answer, whatever. I don't know who the answer is. And honestly, Thomas Brown has 5 very good teams to fill out his resume against. So
Yeah.
I'm going to sit back and I'm going to just enjoy what he does. And I'm going to wait till January 6th till I start my coaching search. I don't know where you guys are with that, but Dustin, where are you? I know we were talking.
It's clearly an audition, Sean. The Bears made this decision for a reason, because they don't want to get behind the curve. Like, if they have the guy and Thomas Brown in the building, they want to know that before the offseason. That's why they've done this, because you can compare Thomas Brown to a Ben Johnson or a Liam Cohen. Like, he's getting results with his offense. I mean, the first half against the Lions was rough, but the second half was obviously a completely different story, and they were in a very close game with the Detroit Lions, the best team in the NFL by everybody's standards. Yeah. So Thomas Brown is getting that audition. That's the Bears' intent, and I'm good with that. I want them to look into everything still. I want them to investigate every possibility, but this will give them more information about Thomas Brown and how he handles a team. And I think we're going to see him just do common sense stuff and have a no nonsense approach. And with the talent on this roster, I think you're going to see positive results. So he could end up being a front runner and I don't expect the Bears to win a lot of games, but they will be competitive in every one of these games.
How are you at with this coaching search?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, man. Like I said, this should have happened a few weeks ago. I wish we could have seen Thomas Brown at the helm a few weeks ago, especially after that Patriots game. But Dustin's right. I mean, the guy deserves an audition. The most important player on this team, the most important player in Chicago right now is Caleb Williams. So you see what Caleb Williams has been doing in recent weeks since Thomas Brown has taken over as the offensive play caller. He certainly deserves the audition for sure. I also agree with Dustin that the way they fired matteberflus was just strange, man. It was just weird. I think that to let him come out and do that press conference and then fire him, and then you didn't hear from Ryan Poles for a while. I mean, Ryan Poles didn't come out and speak to the media. That's another thing to me that's very strange. They just released a statement. But I mean, I'm with you. I don't believe that even if Thomas Brown comes in here and goes 3-2, has a winning record, I don't think you just go, oh, it wouldn't be the Bears to be like, well, this is our future head coach. This guy won 3 games in 5 weeks, so he's our future head coach. I'd like to see them go through the interviewing process, the offseason, interview as many coaches as they possibly can, and pick the candidate that they think is the most intelligent or the guy who's going to get the most out of Caleb Williams. Because like I said, again, Caleb Williams is the most important part of this organization from going in. And you know what, guys, like Dustin said, Detroit had not allowed a quarterback to throw for more than 1 passing touchdown against them all season. Not only did Caleb Williams throw 3, but you guys, I don't know, you tell me, the second half, it looked really easy. It didn't look like it was very tough.
Easy in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, that first touchdown to Caleb Williams, that looked like we were playing like the Browns. Keenan Allen. Yeah, that looked like we were playing the Browns. I mean, he was wide open down the middle of the field, and then that touch pass to DJ Moore. The only thing that worries me a little bit about Thomas Brown taking over as the interim head coach is he still going to call offensive plays? Have they announced any of that stuff yet? Because he had a good thing.
And he was calling from the booth, guys.
Yeah, now he's going to be on the sideline.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be on the sidelines now. So that's going to be a big change for Thomas Brown.
I was going to say, I think I read something today that he might be hiring a play caller so he can manage the whole team. I don't know if that's official yet, though, or not.
But hiring, like pulling out of
interim GM,
like a free agent, offensive coordinator, or somebody from in the building that who knows?
He's going to give it to what's his name, whoever, Kerry Joseph, or something along those lines. I just read that this morning, and it was from a little snippet on X. So who knows?
Well, I mean, you talk about doing things
relatively quickly, though.
You're talking about doing things backwards. Caleb Williams might have his 3rd play caller in his rookie season. There's still 5 games left in the year. This guy's going to have his 3rd play caller. I mean, you got to do as much as you possibly can to make Caleb Williams comfortable. That should be the goal for the Chicago Bears going forward. I mean, if they don't know that, Thomas Brown, to me, you guys, for me personally, he should continue to call the offensive plays because this is the best Caleb Williams has looked since
Consider this, though. You've now put Thomas Brown in a position where he's got to think about what's best for Thomas Brown. Yeah. How do I show that I could be a head coach in the NFL, right? the dynamic between him and Caleb potentially as well.
It's a tough spot for Tom. You just put a lot on Thomas Brown's plate, man. This guy went from passing game coordinator to offensive play caller / offensive coordinator to now he's the head coach of the entire team, and he has to oversee all 53 men and the whole coaching staff. This is going to be a lot for Thomas Brown. I hope he responds well, but
it's a lot easier for him to just call the plays and get that relationship going with Caleb. This is going to be different for him. We got to see what he's got.
And you know what? Caleb Williams may have he may be the player that makes a lot of coaches look good, even if they're not as good of coaches as we think they are.
Caleb's the guy.
Let me ask you guys this. In all seriousness, do you think someone needs to sit down with Caleb, have a talk with him? Do you think he has any ill will or bad feelings inside that he got these people fired?
Well, Sean, from what we understand, I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but a lot of the players have already gone up and talked to Ryan Poles. I mean, you guys heard that Jalen Johnson after the Lions game in the locker room
blew up. Yeah,
exploded on Matt Eberflus. Yeah, that's from all the things I've read that he was screaming in Matt Eberflus's face. That's probably another reason that he got fired. I mean, at some point, the GM Ryan Poles has to go. Man, could not get any worse. I mean, he lost the locker room. What after that? Probably before that Washington game, he probably lost the locker room. But after that Washington game, for sure, no doubt about it. Sean, your camera.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm losing my eyesight or if Sean's going on here.
Yeah, real fuzzed like a piece of dust on the camera.
welcome to Sunday Morning Sheer Dysfunction.
That's perfect. Hey, to answer your question, Sean, I really think that Caleb is a professional. He's about as professional as a rookie quarterback can get. He's handled himself well in every situation. He just continues to be about his job. I don't think he feels like it's on him that these coaches are gone. These coaches.
Sean.
All right, Sean.
What happened?
You just snort a big line or something?
Yeah, mute.
I was cleaning off the camera. It wasn't me.
I think Caleb is going to be fine, guys. I don't think anybody needs to talk to Caleb except for about what he likes in this offense, what he wants to keep doing that he feels comfortable in. And I think he's going to go out there and do his job regardless of the circumstance. That's how I personally feel.
Yeah. And you know what, people keep saying like, well, Caleb Williams can't hire the coach. No, absolutely not. That's up to Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren. But I wouldn't mind if the Bears brought Caleb Williams in and talked to him like, hey, I agree. What system are you comfortable in? What do you think? How can we maximize your potential? Which coaches do you think would get the most out of Caleb Williams? I don't think that'd be a problem. I don't think he should be. It's not like he should be LeBron James and the Lakers and tell them who they should hire. I don't want it to be like that.
Did you guys see that they were reporting Cliff Kingsbury? Schefter said it today that Cliff Kingsbury is a real candidate for the Bears.
Yeah, and Mike Vrabel. They said they both basically already have interviews lined up. Both
Vrabel I can get with. Cliff Kingsbury I want no part of personally, guys.
I mean, why the Bears continue to hire coaches that have failed in the past? Don't do that. Stop doing that.
My only question with Vrabel is who becomes the OC? Do you keep Thomas Brown if he fills out? I mean, hiring Vrabel comes with a big
that's up to Vrabel.
Question mark.
Mm-hmm. It needs to be up to Vrabel. If Vrabel interviews, I said this before, if Vrabel were to interview Thomas Brown, if Vrabel were to be the next Bears head coach, if he were to interview Thomas Brown and choose him as his coach, as his offensive coordinator for his roster, for his coaching staff, I'd be totally good with that, But if it's something that the Bears are saying, we're going to hire you, but you have to keep Thomas Brown on as your offensive coordinator, that's more Bears shit that they're doing that we've seen produce negative results.
I have a question for you guys because I just
it's not fair to Mike Vrabel.
No, I want to get your feeling on this. Do you think if this game didn't have 30 million people watching it nationwide and this happened across the country, do you think that this guy's still the head coach to the end of the year, or was it just too much to break a 104-year tradition and they just said, fuck it, we're firing this clown?
Well, the catastrophe at the end of that game certainly played a part. I mean, that was just the last thing that was said by Jim Nantz on that broadcast was the Bears find another improbable way to lose a football game, and that did not do any Eberflus any favors.
If it wasn't on national television with 30 million people watching, is Eberflus still employed?
Guys, what Eberflus did in that game is the equivalent of you walking into your job, clocking in, taking a shit in the middle of the floor, and not wiping, and then leaving. If you don't get fired after that, there's something wrong. It shouldn't have anything to do with the media pushback or whatever. Like literally, this is blatant negligence, like intentional almost. It feels like you can't ignore it.
4 games in a row.
Sean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Ryan Poles had wanted to fire Matt Eberflus over the last few weeks, and the media kind of forced the McCaskey's hand. That wouldn't surprise me.
To give him the okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like the media was like, hey, now we're starting to look. Now the pie's in our face. We have to, at some point, we have to do something, or our reputation's on the line as well. Because so many people were so outspoken about how bad Matt Eberflus was, particularly after that game. And I mean, we haven't even had a chance to talk about that game, guys. What the hell? I mean, the players on the sideline were like, what just happened? We were just in field goal range to tie the game, and now the game's over.
I was screaming for a timeout as soon as he took that sack. How a head coach doesn't know that you need to take that timeout immediately in that situation to reset your offense. Re-rack. He kept saying, we're going to re-rack it. And we're like, what are you thinking? How much time do you think you have? It doesn't make any sense.
And then he came out and was like, I think we did everything. We did everything right there. I mean,
our operation we liked our operation there. Give me a break.
There's no way that didn't infuriate Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren for him to come out.
If Eberflus was a surgeon, if Eberflus was a surgeon coming out talking to the family, we really liked our operation there, but he's gone. He's gone.
he passed. He
died, but we really liked our operation. It was sound. It was on point. Get out of here, dude. No, you have to take the time out so that you can then make another. You have time to regroup. You have time to call up 2 plays maybe, but 1 play for sure where you're getting it. If you go to the middle of the field, you get up on it and you spike the ball. You had plenty of time, 32 seconds at least, if you call that timeout, with a little bit of pause. 32 seconds you had.
Yeah, and there was Sean, do you know what some coach was quoted saying with 35 seconds left in that game, I could have got 3 plays off. I don't remember what coach it was, but somebody came out and said I could have got 3 plays off.
Jimmy Johnson right after.
Yeah, we couldn't get 1.
Matt Eberflus said at 12 seconds that they weren't gonna be able to do but 1 play. But the Washington Commanders got a playoff for fucking 15 yards on you in 3 seconds. Yeah. Do you not remember that? Like, can you do math, dude?
Hey, Brando, where are you?
I mean, he basically did everything wrong. I mean, if you look at really the last 45 seconds of that game, Matt Eberflus did everything wrong that you could possibly do as a head coach. And I think Bears fans and probably Bears brass were getting sick of Matt Eberflus constantly pushing the excuses off to other people. Like, Matt, at some point you got to go, I messed up. I screwed that up. That was terrible. That was a disaster. That can never happen again. And he refused to do that. And that's why
Caleb changed the play on that call. And that cost like an extra 10 seconds for him changing the play. So when you see all that happening as a head coach, call the timeout. The timeout. Your guys clearly didn't have it, and you still could have called the timeout with 15 seconds left. If he froze, guys, he just froze. Bill, I said it to you guys in the text that day. Bill Cowher then said it on the postgame show immediately after. Matt Eberflus froze in a moment of pressure, and as a head coach, you can't do that. You have to have these things in your head for when they happen.
I really want to get out there. These Bears fans that are out here blaming this on the rookie quarterback, saying that Caleb Williams should have taken the timeout, is absolutely asinine. He explained himself. Hey,
Sean,
it's a vendetta.
These Bears fans who are talking anything negative about Caleb Williams just don't like Caleb Williams. I mean, the guy's about to pass every Bears record we've ever seen, and people are like, "This guy sucks." Oh, okay, what should he not do that? What do you want him to do to be a good quarterback in the NFL? But you could even talk about the play before that when he took that sack. I mean, it may not be a Matt Eberflus, but that was a coaching sack as well. The tackles thought that was a draw. They thought that was a quarterback draw, and Caleb Williams running up the middle to get a couple more yards for a field goal. They let both defensive ends in. Caleb Williams obviously thought that was a pass and took that sack because he was looking for.
Can I just say something? Larry Borum sucks. I don't know if that was a mistake or he just sucks because he sucks. And should not be on the Chicago Bears.
He's not going.
Larry Borum should not be in the NFL.
No, he shouldn't.
Larry Borum should not be in the NFL.
He should not. I don't think he will be next year.
Listen, Caleb Williams. Those people that you're talking about, Sean, those are Caleb Williams haters from the beginning. It's tied back to Justin Fields. We all know that they will find anything they can to knock down Caleb Williams, regardless of the fact that he has put his team in position to win 3 games in a row against divisional opponents. He has played his ass off. We actually have a quarterback, guys, that when defensive coordinators go into a game against the Chicago Bears, they're like, "Oh shit, we got a game plan for this guy."
Yes. Well, and he's put his team in a position to win 4 out of the 5 opportunities he's had to do so.
The only thing that I'm worried about is these slow starts. We got to get rid of these slow starts, dude. These tale of 2 halves. I mean, honestly, for me, I don't know how you guys feel, but that was the worst first half I think I've seen all year from the Chicago Bears.
Well, what's disappointing about the Bears is
what that was.
it always
Yeah,
takes
there's been
them.
some bad ones, Sean.
It always takes them till halftime to make those adjustments. Like you'll see coaches like Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. They'll make those adjustments in between drives. In between drives, they'll make adjustments. The Bears don't do it until halftime. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like you saw it, the second half, the Detroit Lions could not stop the Chicago Bears. I mean, the Chicago Bears were dominating that game. And you guys, you take away a phantom horse collar call, Detroit doesn't score in the second half. They don't score a point.
One on Kyler Gordon, yeah.
That was ridiculous. The fact that they should have picked that flag up and they knew it.
In regards to the first half, I do want to say, guys, Caleb was off. Caleb was playing with the jitters. He was playing with the jitters again. We saw it in game 1. We saw it against Washington, and we saw it on Thanksgiving. Like in these big moments, Caleb seems to have this. He wants to perform so well. He gets in his head too much. He was missing throws he should have been able to make. He was taking sacks that he shouldn't have taken. He was doing that. And then on the last drive, guys, Caleb just dirted a ball that was possibly a touchdown to DJ Moore. Yeah. I don't want to he had no pressure. He had a little bit of pressure in his face, but that was really after he made the pass. That was an easy pass to make, and DJ Moore probably would have taken that to the house, guys. Caleb did have some mistakes, some misses in this game. He's the reason that the Bears were even in the game. But that first half, I don't know how much I put it on coaching. I think they were trying to run the football to an extent, but getting shot down very quickly. And Caleb was off. Caleb was off when he was dropping back to pass.
I will say though, the last pass of the game, the pass that ended the game, if Roma Dudze doesn't turn around, if he keeps running on that route, I think that was a perfect pass.
And it goes over the right shoulder instead. He turned this way instead of just this way.
I think Rome was just looking for the ball, but I think if he had kept running that route, that pass would have been absolutely perfect. Would have dropped right in there. But I mean, like we said, there was just no communication. I don't think anybody knew what was going on in that play. I don't think Roma Dudze knew what was going on in that play because Caleb certainly didn't. Matt Eberflus certainly didn't. But I mean, you guys it's time to celebrate as a Bears fan. Like I said, we know that there's a possibility the Bears screw up this next coaching hire, but at least Matt Eberflus is as far away from this team as he possibly can. He should have left with Nate Davis. They should have left.
Brandon says you don't challenge the punt pinned. Go ahead, Sean.
To that comment that Brandon Duplessis is saying right now, there is footage, still photo of that guy's foot on the goal line. That should have been a touchdown.
In real time, it looked like there was green in between the me, man.
Well, here, let me ask you guys a question because I don't know the rule, but if a player is in the field,
if any part of you touches the white,
I know, but if you're in the field of play and you're not touching the white and you touch the ball and another player is in the end zone and touching you, is that a touchback?
That was.
the human centipede rule.
I don't know, man, because that's how they do it out of bounds, right? Like if a player's touching you and he's touching out of bounds and you're touching the ball, then you're out of bounds. I mean, if it's your teammate, couldn't the same be said? I mean, there's a player in the end zone touching the back of the guy picking up the ball. I don't know if that.
I just love the fact that our rookie quarterback led us out of the 1 yard line to put us in. But there's no way they should have left that game without an opportunity to tie it with a field goal. The position that Caleb got them in from the fucking 1 yard line.
And that was even
a cool
after
situation to see him in.
And that was even after a negative play. I mean, I'm not blaming. I don't blame Keenan Allen for his frustrations, but that penalty when he threw the ball at the ref, it almost felt like, here's the Bears. Here we go. You get 8 yards and you go 5 yards backwards. This is the Bears that we all know. But Caleb Williams, it didn't bother Caleb Williams at all. He just kept moving.
Well, the thing is, that penalty was like good for Keenan to get his frustration out because they barely moved back at all. It was a half goal, so it was.
Yeah, and you know what?
All right.
He had every right to be frustrated.
Yeah, he did.
His helmet was ripped off by his face mask, and once again,
dude.
I don't want to get into the ref conversation, but that was not a good game for the
But talking about the challenges, I mean, Matt Eberflus has blown multiple challenges in the last couple of games too, with no logic behind challenging.
Yeah, he's 2 for 9 in his career, I believe.
Hey, is this dirty or not, guys?
I don't think it was dirty.
I think Caleb was dumb on that, dude. Caleb should have just ran out of bounds. He put himself in position. He thought he would stop and he would go past him and he could keep running. Just get the fuck out of bounds, dude. Get yourself out of harm's way. Caleb put himself in. I think if he hadn't stopped like that, Campbell wouldn't have been anywhere near hitting him. And that was a scary play. That was a scary play.
But what did he do on the next play?
Yeah. And Caleb seems to pick himself up very well after getting hit. He's been hit obviously a lot this year, leading the league in sacks.
He did come out and say he thought it was dirty. Caleb Williams himself said he thought it was dirty. But he also it was kind of a shoulder shrug though. They were like, "Hey, do you think that was dirty, Caleb?" He was like, Yeah, I thought it was dirty, but whatever. He kind of was like, that's football, man. Like it happens. You got to. But I mean, I bet you if you asked Caleb, he would tell you, I got to run out of bounds.
Yes,
It's
he
time for me
needs
run out of
to.
bounds.
You don't give him an opportunity to put that hit on you. I mean, you're a runner at that point. You're not a quarterback. You're not protected. You have to protect yourself.
Yeah. I don't think it was dirty.
I'd probably say it wasn't dirty if Detroit didn't have a history of this. They've taken 3 players out in 1 year at knee shots, 2 tight ends.
Well, dude. Well, Sean, they have to bite people's knees off. Whatever.
And Jack Campbell put that hit. He pushed Caleb out of bounds earlier in the game when he took out Caleb and the ref. So, I mean, that was probably in Caleb's head, too, in regards to that. So
I think Detroit plays dirty, man. That's just me. That's just my opinion, man.
They definitely blur that line, but that's their edge, man, and it's an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that's at least they have an identity, you know. Yeah. The Bears don't.
Hey, and really quick, guys, I just want to get this out because regardless of what just happened in the last 3 games, Caleb Williams absolutely cooked the NFC North. He averaged 275 passing yards per game, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 64% completion percentage, and a 99.2 quarterback rating. He threw 373 against the Vikings, 300 against the Packers, 295 versus the. I mean, dude, I can take that away and just be really freaking happy because I know what's coming. He gets to play them all again, and I think the results will be similar. Maybe we walk away with the victory.
Well, how about it? How about it? We have a quarterback that is against the NFC North. I mean, that's the last time you said that.
We've seen this in the NFL before, guys, where a team that has talent underperforms. They have that rookie quarterback that you can now kind of start banking your future on. You get a coach in here that can tie themselves with Caleb for the next 5 years at the very least is what you're really hoping for. You're really hoping for 10, right? You're hoping to make the right coaching hire that you can have consistent sustainability. But that next year, that team always takes a jump. So, I mean, that's really where my head is.
Yeah, like the Lions
has established himself. Yes.
Just like the Lions.
I mean, now you got a veteran quarterback with that. I mean, Caleb is establishing himself as a really good quarterback in the NFL, and this team has a lot of talent. So, carrying that to next year we just said our coach has cost us anywhere from 4 to 6 wins this season, guys. Yeah. So you just change that out, and your identity immediately becomes different.
Yeah, and you know what? These Lions fans, Packers fans, Vikings, they can say whatever they want. I don't believe them. If I'm a fan of any team in the NFC North besides the Chicago Bears, I am not happy that the Bears have Caleb Williams because it looks like ultimately he is going to be the best quarterback in the NFC North. If he continues to do what he's doing this season and even gets better, I mean, obviously we know he has not reached his potential. This is not his ceiling. He's still making rookie mistakes, as is Roma Dunze and the rest of the rookies in the NFL. But at some point, Caleb Williams is going to be a very dominant player in the NFL. And I expect him to be
the best quarterback in the NFL, Kyle.
Yeah, I expect him to be one of those quarterbacks where you're looking at his record against every opponent he plays, every single other team in the NFL, and he has a winning record against every single one of them by the time he retires. And that's not good for the Packers, Vikings, or Lions. That's not good.
Brandon says the Lions are a dirty team. Fields was pretty adamant about that, guys. That hit wasn't incidental. Guys are going to try to hurt him in Detroit. We are to Detroit what the Packers are to us. Yes, I mean, these games are going to be physical, Brandon, but like Caleb has to take responsibility for himself when he becomes a runner. He is not protected anymore. Obviously, it wasn't incidental. Jack Campbell was trying to hit him, and you should know that and get yourself out of bounds. Don't take the hit at all. Don't even put yourself in that position.
Especially when a linebacker is coming down.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Caleb tried to make more out of that play, and
you want to go up against a small corner or safety and try to get a couple extra yards. Sure, maybe, but when a linebacker like Jack Campbell is coming at you, run on the bounce, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest checking in. We're going to pay some bills too. Brandon Trax Hyatt is jumping in with us. What's going on, Trax? How you doing, buddy?
What up, Brandon?
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
I'm down in my garage right now.
It's freezing outside, dude. You got a heater in there? You got a space heater?
Little space heater for the feet. I think somebody from the sports bar from Bridges is going to bring by another heater for me. But
nice.
my face is bright red. I feel like I'm getting ready to go out there on Soldier Field right now. Not to take the hits or the shits, we don't want to bring up Eberflus, but I mean, I just, it's cold. That's all I could say, man.
Yeah, I like the Urlacher picture behind you there, man.
Yeah, that's pretty
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I want the.
You guys are twinsies.
Oh no, wait. Is his his is Sayers, right?
Yeah. They were made by the same company though.
Yeah,
is it?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are twinsies. It's kind of cute.
Where'd you go? Where'd you get yours at?
I got mine at Pristine Auction. That's where I get all my.
Oh yeah,
Bears.
for the what you call it, the auction, and then it was like $125 I won, but then it's like $75 shipping, so it's like over $200 by the time it gets here, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
right.
What up, Dennis Moody? Happy Sunday to you. He says no flus. Good news. Yes, that is a win. That is a win.
Yes, we agree. We agree, Dennis.
You got the gloves on and everything, man. You're freezing out there.
It's bad, dude.
It's 20 degrees.
It's like 15 degrees outside. Dude.
I'm pared down, baby. Let's go.
All right, thanks for joining us, man. So we're just talking about flus. What are we on to right now, Sean?
We're just gonna promote the River Street Tavern on the 16th of December. 4 Stars gonna have our first live event. We're gonna have some awesome pictures to give away, raising money for charity. Half of everything goes to Bears Care. We have a 50-50 raffle. We have some amazing pictures that we're gonna be raffling off. This amazing DJ Moore. Great catch against Washington last year. Dan Hampton looking like he's about to sack a Packers quarterback. We got this awesome frame Kevin Butler, one of my favorite Bears ever. He was just on CSP within the last week, I believe. And just added this awesome Lance Briggs auto. They're all PSA, DNA, or Beckett certified. They're coming out. So come and spend a Monday with us, 102 North River Street in East Dundee, Illinois. 4 Stars will be there. And we're raising money for charity and the less fortunate during the holiday season. So come check us out. Come hang out. And hopefully we get a Bears win. Who knows? We got about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. If you guys want to flip over and do some bets and some fantasy really quick.
Well, let's get Trax's take on.
Let's get Trax's take on matteberflus.
Hey, before I forget, let's put a pin in Butthead and see if we can't get him on your guys' show, boys. I just talked to him. He just got back from Miami, so that's a good possibility, man. He'll rally for you.
That was awesome.
Butler, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. One of Sean's favorite.
Trax,
Trax, what's your take on Matt Eberflus, how they went about the firing, and how you expect the Bears to be moving forward in terms of performance with Thomas Brown as the head coach?
Brandon and I was talking about this the other day, and I mean, I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks, because McCaskey's Virginia is the oldest dog in the pen, and the thing about it is it took a while. It took some doing, and I think it started with the layer of the onions being peeled off when Ryan Poles adamantly said, I'm going a little bit further back than I probably should, but it'll make sense when I'm done. Ian Cunningham got hired as the first in the history of ever assistant, GM. Yeah, and there's a joke that's around Hallis Hall that they say that they look at nickels as the size of manhole covers. So they're cheap, And so for that to happen, that in itself is ridiculous. And the fact that he could have been gobbled up by somebody else last season is a testament to what Ian sees what's happening in the building. Now, that alone is pretty much, letting go of some power there. So that was impressive. But this whole thing has really got people fired up, myself included. Sorry, I had my mitten in the freaking picture. But what do you call it? The thing of it is it took a little while. It sounded like what I've heard, Albert Breer and a couple of the other guys that I've been talking to. They basically have been saying, what you guys have already heard on their networking is that he's basically been wanting their heads, or wanted Eberflus head since the Patriot game. And I think it was actually before that, but to outwardly come out and talk about that in of itself, and then basically just saying, no, let's go ahead and wait, let's see what happens. Let's hold out, blah, 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 whatever. Especially, I think, it's a big thing to do to fire a man, especially during the holidays, man, for Christ's sakes, it's a lot. As much as we wanted to, and you guys have heard me about packing the bags and not even getting your family photos, your dog and your wife and your kids, and, just pack your shit and get the hell out of here type approach, and not even letting them do get a Uber or taxi, just the Shoelace Express all the way home. I don't even care, run into traffic for all I care. But, they had a way about it. And I think really when you look at it, you got everybody there, in the building, at your home, and they got to explain to everybody that's there, including people that don't even watch freaking football, why the hell is this nutbag still, coaching after you lose on Thanksgiving when everybody in the world is watching? It's on the biggest freaking what do you call it? Stage in the history of ever. Everybody's watching. There's no other freaking football. It's Thanksgiving. It's a holiday, for Christ's sake. What are we thankful for? What the hell's going on? Now, I just heard this morning. 1,500 different situations where you have a timeout and you could kick a field goal to win it. In the history of ever, nobody's ever effing freaking did what Eberflus did. That in of itself, they gave him enough rope to hang himself. I am pleasantly happy with him being out of the building. No matter who they get from here on out, it's got to be a lot better. And I feel like since there is such a big microscope on this freaking thing, they might actually nail the next hiring, Sean. I really feel like it's going to be a lot better. And you know what? A lot of people are like, why would you get into this situation? Why wouldn't you? Look at the 5 other times that they've been in a situation for coaching. The last 5 times that they've been in, have we had a good quality all-around roster? No. This is as sexy as ever, bro. Pretty much this is a layup to walk into. Quarterback included, all the way from the front to the back. This is a great situation to put yourself in to be a head coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it came down to accountability. Like, you can't hold your players accountable, right? You can't have a head coach that's supposed to hold your players accountable that's not being held accountable for their performance and their results. It's a results-based business, and Eberflus has shit the bed on multiple occasions in national spotlights, right? So I agree. Something had to happen just to show your players, like, hey, we're serious about accountability and trying to get positive results out of this team.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to put my camera off really quick. The guy from Bridges Scoreboard just dropped off my heater. Give me a second, okay?
Yeah, I mean, Dustin, you're right. At some point, the players are evaluating the coaching staff just as much as the coaching staff's evaluating the players. And at some point, the players they gave up. I mean, they gave
up. Where's
that
sound coming from, guys?
That's the feedback on Vernon's mic.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Trex said. I like the point he made about Ian Cunningham staying in the building because he knows that he's going to be attached to success at some point when he looks at this roster. And I think that ultimately he's right. I mean, there should be a lot of applications turned into the Chicago Bears for the head coaching position. This is the sexiest head coaching free agency or vacancy in the NFL this year. And unless the Bengals coach gets fired, if the Bengals coach gets fired, that's a really good team to be a coach of too. But right now, the Chicago Bears they are ready to win now. So if a coach comes in here, he could be immediately attached to success as long as he's attached to Caleb Williams. What the Bears need to do is get a coach, nail this coaching hire so that Caleb Williams doesn't get fed up with Chicago and want to leave at the end of his 5-year tenure here, because obviously after being a first-round pick, you get the 5th-year option, but they cannot let Caleb Williams right now is the most important thing in the Chicago Bears, and that's the way they should look at it going forward.
Sean, this is one thing that we haven't touched on today. Ryan Poles is going to be making this decision. The biggest decision in Bears history up to this point, right? Firing Matt Eberflus is now the biggest decision in Bears history up to this point. But now picking the right guy to take this team to the next level that lines up with your rookie quarterback contract to where you can have success and build around him. Ryan Poles is now going to be responsible for this. He's the guy who has made the decision that got Matt Eberflus to this point. He is the guy who retained Matt Eberflus. And you've been very vocal about how you feel about Ryan Poles, Sean. So are you confident that the Bears can make the right decision? We just talked about how they messed up just in terms of firing Eberflus, how they went about that. Are we confident that they can make the right decision to get the right head coach in here?
I'm not.
No?
I'm not. But I do like the step, like I said, holding the accountability and getting this guy out of here. Maybe should have happened 3 weeks earlier. I do like the move, even though we just talked about it was still fumbled and bumbled and not done correctly. But I don't know, man. I want to say yes, but I just don't feel right because I just know the Bears will have the right person in front of them, a la Jim Harbaugh, and say, we're going to go with this guy that we all have to Google this fucking guy's name because we have no idea who this clown is. So I hope they get it right. I really, really do. I'm gonna pray.
Dennis Moody says no, he does not have confidence that they will make the right decision. It's got to be a very intensive process. They have to get all of the information that they can get. I don't want them to rush into this decision.
Dustin, not only is this coaching hire huge, top end draft picks. I mean, this whole off season could be franchise turning with these blue chip prospects that we can bring in the upper part of this draft, because it sure looks like Carolina's given us a very high second round pick. We have, the top first round pick. We're going to have, how many picks do we have in the top, like 54?
3.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, right. Or no, it's 3. It's 3.
Yeah,
Two,
3.
Second. Yeah.
Those are blue chip
second
players
round.
that can help you change this franchise around.
Dennis Moody says he wants to target a stud defensive end and left tackle in free agency. I'm not sure exactly how many studs there will be in free agency. I haven't looked into that yet.
Not many tackles.
Yeah,
Not
I
many
didn't
tackles.
think so. Draft Gianti number 1. I don't think we need. I think DeAndre Swift is good for a couple more years, guys. Best guard number 3. He wants
The number 2 would be the best
number
guard.
2 is the best guard. Number 3 center, then a defensive tackle. All holes fixed.
I'll tell you this, man. Look at the.
I don't know about
teams that
Gianti, but I like the offensive line targeting.
Look at the teams that are having success in the NFL this year. 2 of the best teams in the league. 3 of the best teams in the league. Detroit, power run game. Philadelphia, power run game. Ravens, power run game.
Yeah, but you could argue that that's more the offensive line than the running back.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs put Kareem Hunt into their lineup and got great results, and now Pacheco's back. I mean, the Chiefs are a run game team as well. The Chiefs run the ball really well in a power way, and all of those teams that you mentioned also have multiple running backs that can change a game. Yeah,
that's why I'm not too shy. I don't think I want to use our first round pick on Gentry. But Omarion Hampton out of UNC, I don't know where his draft stock is, but that dude's a stud. And if you can draft him a little bit later on and grab somebody like that, you need a better punch if you don't believe that Roshan Johnson is the 1-2 punch that complements DeAndre Swift perfectly. That's just my opinion, though.
If Roshan can't be that guy, then you're going to need to draft one. I'm not taking him in the first round. I'm not taking him in the second round. I'm going for a third, fourth, fifth round running back.
Yeah, we can.
We can't. Proven in the NFL, they have a lot of success.
Yes.
To talk about the draft it's so far out, and there's so much the Bears have to address before that time. But the offensive line, realistically, in the offseason is I don't care how they do it. I don't care. I don't care if it's for you. Now, obviously, Ryan Pohl's second biggest miss besides retaining Matteberflus was Nate Davis, so he cannot do that again. You can't give another player 3 years, $30 million contract who doesn't even want to play football. That cannot.
You can't even finish out that contract. Yeah.
But I will, in terms of the coaching hire, I hope that Ryan Poles is willing to hire somebody that intimidates him. I hope he's willing to, not like this. Where you see this chain of yes men hired by the Bears because Kevin Warren doesn't want to be intimidated by Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles doesn't want to be intimidated by the head coach, and the head coach doesn't want to be intimidated by the offensive coordinator. They need to hire the guy who comes in the building, and after they interview him, he scares the shit out of him. Like, man,
I'm going to do it my way, and you guys need to let me do it my way.
You guys,
as your head coach.
And you guys can watch, and you'll be attached to sustained success the entire time I'm here. So whether you hire me, I'm going to win football games. That's the guy. I don't want the guy who's like, oh well, you guys just tell me what you want me to do. I'll do it, because the Bears have done that for the last 10 years and it's not working.
And then here's another concern. Are they grooming Thomas Brown to be that next person? Are they grooming Thomas Brown to be their next yes man?
I hope not.
I don't know. And I'm not saying that they are, but this Bears franchise has a history of wanting yes men, and maybe they're just putting Thomas Brown in that position right now where they can just carry that over.
Dustin, even if Thomas Brown won 5-0 and won every single game by 20 points, I would still be furious if the Bears just hired him without interviewing anybody. That would make me
you
furious.
Need an extensive search. I don't know, 5-0, man, and they scored 30 points a game. You might have to just do it.
Yeah, I'm not saying he would be out of the question, but if you just like didn't interview anybody else, and you're like, well, this guy won 5 games, so he's got to be the guy, because we saw what's his name on the on Antonio Pierce on the Raiders. We saw that team played really well last year. Look at him now. Look at that team now. Sometimes it's just like a change of scenery, I guess you'd say, or just you make that coaching change and those players respond. But eventually, sometimes coaches the players will start to be like, right,
they'll regress back to what they are.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have the right guy. I've been on here very clearly stating I want a guy with previous experience, a guy that won't be a yes man, a guy that will challenge the status quo in Hallis Hall and make their own decisions and not make them for the franchise. Make them for the football team to be as good as it can be, not to pinch pennies for the franchise, not to appease the GM, do your job the way you know you're going to do it the way you want to do it, and live with those things. Hire your own people. I want that person Vrabel to me fits that bill perfectly. He's had the experience, he's done it his way, and he's left a job because he didn't want to do it a front office's way.
I would be fine with Mike. I would be ecstatic if the Bears hired Mike Vrabel, or if Kevin Stefanski got fired and they decided to hire Kevin Stefanski.
What up, Darius?
That's the question, Dustin. Ultimately, are the Bears willing to hire a guy who intimidates them, the Bears brass? And if they can do that, if they can get past that and hire that guy, that's the best way for this team to succeed.
If your answer is no, then Mike Vrabel isn't your guy.
No, if they are afraid, if they're intimidated by a coach and they won't hire that guy, they're not going to hire Mike Vrabel. They're not going to hire Bill Bell. They're not going to hire any of those guys.
I have a wild card here.
They're going to hire Thomas Brown. That's who they're going to hire.
And again, I said I didn't really want to talk about coaches.
Are you going to say Bill Cowher?
No, I'm not going to say Bill Cowher.
I would love Bill Cowher. I love that guy.
An 85 Super Bowl champion Chicago Bear, Chico Ron Rivera. How do you guys feel about Chico?
Oh, God, no.
Absolutely
no,
not.
you.
Man. I'm going to tell you, his name's been kicked around a lot in the last.
I think he's a yes.
His team was kicked around a lot in his last 2 seasons.
Yeah, he has no. There's no proof that he can develop a quarterback, which right now is we've talked about this so many times now. This is the most important thing for the Chicago. You just got to make sure the Caleb Williams trajectory keeps going up.
What proof is that Mike Vrabel can? He has to. He would have to do the same steps that Chico Rivera.
No, but Mike was able to put offenses in place that got success and maximize the talent of Ryan Tannehill.
Mike Vrabel got the most out of quarterbacks who I consider average, and Mike Vrabel was very good at hiring people. I mean, the Tennessee Titans were always competitive. When Ron Rivera was the coach of the Commander, or I guess you call them the Redskins back then. I mean, RG3. I mean, Kirk Cousins was there, RG3 was there, and they time and time again that team found a way to fail. I don't want anything to do with Ron Rivera. As a matter of fact, I don't even want Ron Rivera as defensive coordinator. I think I've heard this so many times in the past few weeks. People like, oh, 85 Bear. Stop getting this tunnel vision. Get the best guy available for the job. I don't give a shit where he played. I don't care where he grew up. I don't care what. It doesn't matter to me. When you sit down and you interview these guys, whichever guy you think is the best guy for the job, you think he's the most intelligent, you think he's the best at commanding a room, a leader of men, you think he's innovative, you think he can adapt to the NFL rules. I mean, look how quickly Andy Reid adapts to the NFL rule changes. The second that they make like a new penalty,
Belichick used to do that very well.
They take advantage of it immediately. The Bears look like they're playing football from 1944 while everybody else is starting to. I want a coach that wants to his desires to win, and he doesn't. I'm so sick of the stuff about like, oh, I don't want a politician anymore. I don't want these guys who after the game are like, oh, we're in the process of making the process, and once the process is, I'm done with all that shit. I want a guy who is he lives, eats, sleeps football. That's what I want. And that's Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel loves football.
Yeah.
Sean, you're muted. You muted your mic.
Dennis, is this better? I don't know.
That's much better, Sean. That's much better, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my stuff today. I haven't changed the setting, and it's just acting.
It's much better. It sounds much better. So perfect. I think we're all kind of happy. We're happy that Flus is gone, guys. I very much have doubts about how the Bears went about it, and it still gives me great pause going forward in this process. But all we can do is take it one game at a time. I think the Bears will be competitive with Thomas Brown as head coach. So I think this is a win for us as Chicago Bears fans, and we just got to make sure Caleb stays healthy and continues to develop. Right? That's kind of where sums it up.
I mean, can you guys imagine the feeling if it's like late in the game against San Fran, it's tied, and the Bears go down and score a touchdown with like 3 seconds left to win the game? I mean, it's going to be like an alienated feeling to us. We're just so unused to it now. They're like, the Bears are going to find a way to screw this up. If they go to beat the Niners somehow, some way, I don't care how they do it. If they do that, then I mean, Thomas Brown certainly.
The Niners aren't that litmus test anymore. the Niners are not a good football team, man.
Yeah.
I like that question from Dennis Moody, guys. Did anybody bite on that?
What was the question?
Had it up there. Each of you.
You know what, Dennis? I think we're going to do this on Monday. I think we're going to do this tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Good tease. Join us on Monday, Dennis. We'll give you those.
Yeah.
Brando couldn't join us today, and this is something he really wanted to do. So we're going to.
Good call, Sean. Good call. Thank you. Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, do you want it in the dust? Unless
I'm gonna blow through some bets here, guys, really fast because we're getting close, guys.
Dennis, we're on at 6:00 tomorrow.
Yep.
6:00 Mondays. Every Monday, 6:00.
Hey, let's blow through this, guys. I'm gonna go against the grain here. The Eagles, Lamar is 7-37, or Lamar is 7-37 versus first-time head coaches. He's also 23-1 against NFC.
7-37
Yeah, what?
7-37
against first time. Are you sure it's not 37-7?
37-7. Sorry, I wrote it.
I'm like against first time head coaches? No,
Yeah,
no chance, not a chance in hell.
And against the NFC, Sean, what is he?
Against the NFC, he's 23-1.
Yes,
The Eagles have lost 6 straight to AFC teams. The Ravens have won 12 straight versus NFC teams. It's in Baltimore. Guys, I'm taking the upset. I'm going with the Eagles. I don't like the short trip, the short week for the Ravens going across country, coming back home. I'm riding the Eagles on this game. That's me. I'm going to have a couple of upsets that I'm rolling with because I am also going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to get upset with Cincinnati coming off the bye. Joe Burrow is sensational off the bye.
It's not an upset, though. They're +3 in that game, aren't they?
Who is?
The Steelers.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals are favored.
Yeah,
Well, then I'm trying to find my my odds for this game, and I can't seem to
The
find it.
Bengals were 3-point favorites last I looked, Sean.
Then we're taking the
We're taking
Bengals.
the Bengals as the favorite.
I did not write down the spread.
The
Sorry.
Bengals, they're still 3-point.
They're still 3-point favorites.
Yeah.
All right, we got some props. I'm taking Bijan over 73. The Chargers are going to be with Hal Perryman, Junior Colston, Henley. They have 0 linebackers going into this game. Should feed into Bijan Robinson. Take him over 73. Let's go to Tampa. And Tampa, I'm trying to get there. I got a lot of notes.
The Tampa one this is a good game to bet on. They're giving way too good of odds on some of these players. It's ridiculous.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah,
they got Bucky Irving at rushing over under 56.5 against the Carolina Panthers. They got Mike Evans over under at 60.
What are the odds on those over unders? What's the
I mean,
over-
so here
odds
I did Bucky Irving over 56, Mike Evans over 60, Tampa Bay to win. I bet 155 to win 650.
Okay, really quick. I have Bucky
So it's
Irving.
like +400.
Yeah, it's around there. But I think I also had a bonus on there. I don't know. I used my Sunday bonus on one of these bets. I don't remember which one it was. But either way, I mean, still the odds for Mike Evans and Bucky Irving against the Carolina Panther, the NFL knows something we don't. I mean, I've never seen odds this good for a good team playing a garbage team. I've never seen this.
I took the Bucks -2. This is a little 3-teamer I did. Bucks minus the 2.5. Irving over 56 rushing. Actually, no, I didn't. I took Irving over 76 rushing and receiving, over 2.5 receptions. He's had that in 5 straight games. I think he'll be a little bit involved in that. So that's 3 catches, over 76 rushing and receiving, and the Bucks. I don't understand that spread whatsoever. Yeah. Vegas does. That's what's kind of scary about it.
That's what scares me. I don't understand why they think it's like they're predicting the Bucks to have a terrible game on offense against the Carolina Panthers. I don't understand. I'm like, why?
I don't see that happening. I mean, the Panthers have played better, not
certainly have played better. But they didn't just sign Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. Where are these numbers coming from?
And I will tell you, I like the Rams at a must-win on the road in New Orleans. The Saints had 0 wide receivers. Little parlay I put in that. I got Hill over 24 receiving yards. He's been on 55% of all snaps since Derek Carr returned. I also like him anytime touchdown. And I took let's see, that's what I took there. I got Allen in this Buffalo game. I'm taking the Bills minus the 6. The Niners have been on the road 3 of their last 4 games, traveling across country, back to the Bay, back across country.
The snowstorm out there, guys. The Niners are losing this game.
And I took Allen over 30 rushing yards. I play him up to 40. They have no Bosa. They have no Trent Williams in this game. Probably 2 of the key players on that roster for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. So I like the over 46 in Minnesota, Arizona. Arizona, if you like the spread, Arizona's all 0-10 all time since 1980 in Minnesota. Murray, though, is 19-7 as a road dog and 15-12 outright on the road in road games as an underdog. So there's a little.
I think Arizona wins that game.
I got a 14 parlay. I did a little teaser one. Let me throw this one out here since we're talking about it because Arizona's in that just for the noon games. I teased the Commanders down to -2.5 against the Tennessee Titans. I got the Chargers. I teased them to +3.5, so I'm getting over a field goal with the Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. I got the Arizona Cardinals +7.5. So then a touchdown. I'm still good there, right? And then Pittsburgh Steelers +7.5. I'm not really confident in who's going to win these games, but I think these are going to be some close games. And I was able to get that at +417 odds, guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm feeling pretty. I've been having luck with the teasers on these and kind of stretching those out a little bit. So those are 4 that I'm going for the noon game.
Do you care if I do one real quick, Sean?
Go ahead.
Here's another one that this is baffling me. Like the NFL knows something we don't, and this game's going to be played in This game's going to be played in Jacksonville. So there's not going to be snow or anything like that. But Jacksonville is now ranked 32nd against quarterbacks, 31st against wide receivers, and 30th against running backs. I took CJ Stroud over 250 yards passing, which is a lot for CJ Stroud this year. He has not done that often, but it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I took Nico Collins over 70 yards receiving. I took Joe Mixon over 70 yards rushing, and I took the Texans to win the game. So that right there, I bet 50 to win 200.
Money line on the Texans.
Just the money line. Yeah,
you did an alternative spread on that because Nico Collins is over 79.5 right
now. I dropped it down to 70.
Nico Collins was where I was going to go, 79 over 79. I feel very comfortable with that.
He's just going to get the thing that sucks about Nico Collins right now is because Stephon Diggs is no longer playing for the Texans. He's out for the season. It's just that he's going to get that bracket coverage every time now. When Nico Collins was getting single coverage early in the season before he got hurt, he was a sure bet every week. It was like every week.
On that one with you, Kyle. I think I might bring Mixon down to 50 yards rushing, but I'm going to jump on that one with you.
There's just a lot of weird things going on.
How many yards did you get CJ Stroud at again?
I had him at 250, but you get good odds at 225 plus.
Okay. I was going to say he was at 225. You raised that up.
They're giving you. I raised his pass.
Yeah, I was going to say because I have him written down.
CJ Stroud has struggled. He has struggled.
Yes, he has.
I have him on my fantasy team.
So do I. This is a risky bet because like I said, he hasn't thrown over 250 yards. He's only done it twice this year. But the Jacksonville Jaguars
are really bad. But it's a divisional game, so it's weird. Every game this week is weird.
And it's in Jacksonville, so the Jacksonville's going to play better than they normally would because they're at home.
I'll give you one that should be another steal in the sports book. Puka Nacua over 78.5 receiving yards, dude. This guy's been straight up filthy and unstoppable and healthy.
He's better than Cooper Kupp now. I told you, man.
Dude. He put up 9 catches for $117, which nobody's been able to do against Philly's defense, and now he's going up against the worst secondary in the NFL, who just traded Marshawn Lattimore. Fire me up some Puka Nacua over 78.5 rushing yards. Receiving yards, excuse me. Love that all freaking day long.
I took that as well. Actually,
it says be wary of the road favorites. It's a very tricky week.
You guys in that game, that Rams game, the Rams Saints. So obviously, you guys know that not only are the Saints banged up on defense, but they've started trading players away. Marshawn Lattimore are not there anymore. I took Cooper Kupp over. I took Cooper Kupp over 60. Puka Nacua over 70. Matthew Stafford over 225. Kyron Williams over 75 rush plus receiving. I took all of them and the Rams to win. The Saints are bad, guys. The Saints have quietly become one of the worst teams in the NFL. What have they lost? 8 in a row? 7 in a row?
Hey Kyle. I'm
not sure, man, but I can see the Saints making this a game, more of a game.
I think it's 8 in a row.
I want to go back to Jacksonville Texans really quick because my long shot on Thursday was Tim Patrick over 22 receiving yards, which he got on his first catch of the game. My long shot of the day today is Mr. Jonathan Menchie over 19.5 receiving yards versus Jacksonville. I think he's going to get it. He's become part of that offense. He's got a higher.
He should have been. He was a 2nd-round pick, and then he got
canned. With Nico back, he's really taken a step. He was starting to come on. Since Nico's come back, he has not.
Yeah, but he is now there. He is. I mean, it was Xavier Hutchinson early in the season. They were their number 3 after Stephon Diggs got hurt, but John Mechie is now their number 3 receiver.
Well, he's their 4, isn't he?
19.5 receiving yards.
No, Mechie's
Collins.
But Diggs is out for the season, so John Mechie's their 3.
Diggs is out for this. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, really quick,
and he is now their permanent number 3. There's no more rotating with Hutchinson. I don't think they like Hutchinson. But I don't understand. John Mechie came in he was drafted as a second round pick. He was a good player in college. Then he got cancer, and they were like, "Oh, he's done." Like I would have John Mechie on the field. I don't understand. You might as well see what you got, right?
For sure.
At worst, when Stephon Diggs comes back next year, you got a valuable trade piece. If John Mechie steps in and plays well, at least you could trade him for something. I don't understand sitting him on the bench. That didn't make. They should have been playing him since week 1. It didn't make sense.
I did 2 anytime touchdown scores. I did Jaden Daniels and Breece Hall. Jaden Daniels and Breece Hall, I like as anytime.
Be careful with Breece Hall, man. He's got that knee injury. I'm starting him, but he's
good to go.
Shitless right now.
They say he's good to go. He's not feeling sore.
I'm watching the fantasy show. They're saying he will play, but he didn't practice for 2 weeks. And they're saying he wasn't sore after practice Friday.
Yeah. He said out of his own mouth, he's like, I'm 100%. I don't know.
I feel good.
Yeah, this is just the end of it.
I like it. I don't know. I put those two together for plus 448.
I'm gonna get on that one too.
I was gonna say my anytime touchdown scores for the day. I got Mixon. I got Kyron Williams to get back to pay dirt because it's been a couple of weeks. He's got a perfect matchup to do that. Bucky Irvin, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, and Mr. Taysom Hill.
Sean, do you know what Adonai Mitchell's over under is? Because now Josh Downs is
out,
and so is that Doolin. What's the other guy's name? Doolin. I don't know his name.
I don't even know.
He's their number 4 receiver.
I know Pittman. I know Dallas.
Yeah. So and Adonai Mitchell is going to be their number 3 because it's going to be Pierce, Pittman, and Adonai Mitchell. But usually it's they rotate Doolin and Josh Downs. Doolin's kind of like built like Downs, quick, small receiver. He's out now too. So they're saying
under is 38 and a half.
That's
they raised it. They raised it. That's disappointing because
who's
sitting they had it at like 18 at one point.
You know who's sitting at 32 and a half, and that looks kind of juicy. Alec Pierce, man.
He can get that on one. He can get that on one catch. You're just taking a bet that he gets one deep play. Yeah.
You said Justin. You said Breece Hall and who else?
Jaden Daniels against that Tennessee Titans pass defense is really good. I think he's going to have to do some stuff with his legs.
Those are really good ads.
Yeah,
guys, I'll give you 2 more. I'll give you 2 more. Carolina has allowed, I think, out of this season, they've only allowed 1 team not to match their first pay spread. I forgot. I just wrote this down on the bottom of my sheet. I did it earlier. Tampa -6 for the game. Over 13.5 points for the Bucks in the first half, and Bucky over 56 rushing yards.
That's what I'm saying. You guys, what is going on? Why is Vegas so high on the Panthers? I don't know.
What are your odds on that, Sean?
Let me go back and look. Does
the entire Buccaneers team have COVID or something? What's going on,
dude? It's really weird.
I mean, it's in Carolina, guys. It's a divisional game. We always forget that these divisional games are a lot tougher than we expect.
Yeah, but I mean, I know, but you got Mike Evans 60. That's really low for Mike Evans, right? You're like, okay, well, maybe they think it's a
Mike Evans didn't perform very well last week. His first week back,
he was, but he only played what I think they said he played like 65% of the snaps, and now, so you're like, well, maybe Vegas thinks it's going to be a running game, right? But then you go look at Bucky Irving, and they have him at 52 or whatever. I'm like, what? So somebody has to
be. Isn't J.C. Horn? J.C. Horn is going to be matched up on 60. Mike Evans.
Bucky's up to 60 now, guys.
He has over 6. Yeah, so they're adjusting. I expect. I mean, me personally, guys, maybe I'm wrong, but I expect the Buccaneers to win that game pretty handily. I'd say at least by 10 points. Okay. That's what I think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I'm really weary of all these games this week in terms of the spreads. That's why I did the teasers, man, because I don't like any of the spreads this week. There's none that look good to me. I
just think no matter what the game script is, Mike Evans and Bucky Irving are going to be involved in the entire game. I just don't see a scenario in which Bucky Irving has like 15 carries for 30 yards. I mean, the Panthers suck, guys. They allowed there was a month span where they weren't just averaging giving up 3 touchdowns a game to running backs. They actually gave up. It wasn't like 4 in one game, then 2 in another game. They gave up 3 touchdowns to running backs in 4 consecutive games. 4 consecutive games. I mean, they're not a good football team. This is a team that we're talking about the Bears who are sitting here, 4-8 now, 4-9, and they beat the shit out of the. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't understand.
The Panthers are a different team today than they were when the Bears.
100%. And you know what? As a matter, I hate to say this, but the Panthers are probably better with Bryce Young than they were with the Red Rocket.
I don't know why you hate to say that.
That Tampa
because Bryce Young sucks.
Plus 260.
Yeah, plus 260.
Okay, that's solid. I like it.
It's not. I actually did an alternative spread. I'm looking at it. I took the Bucks off -5.5. I dropped it at point. I don't want to end up on a push.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, what did you say you like Bijan Robinson over?
I got him over
74?
73.5.
Yeah.
Rushing?
Oh, let me look at my bet sheet here.
Dude,
Against that Chargers defense.
Yeah,
I'm
this Chargers. All I'm reading about is how good the Chargers.
I'm not with it. No.
I'm going to tell you guys this right now. They have 0 starting linebackers. They're on 3rd, 4th string linebackers. Bijan Robinson is an absolute beast.
Yeah, but
they got a unit.
Go look at the Chargers. Go look at the Chargers last few weeks against running back. Go look at them. They're not the same team that they were. Here, I'll give you one better. The Chargers are going to be without these guys. The Chargers have played the easiest schedule opposing offenses by DVOA through the first 11 weeks.
For sure.
They're not playing easy opponents anymore. Bijan Robinson's a stud. Hey, that's why it's cash for pass him. You guys pass him.
I'm not passing. I'm
passing. But the Falcons have a tendency to play the game plan. The team wants them to play for some reason too.
They play into their opponent's hand.
Yeah, their opponent's game.
I'll give you 2 more for the people out there. I got Lamar over 224, 224 in the hook passing. I like AJ Brown. Now I like AJ Brown. I got him at what did I get him at? 80, I think. Dude, he's going to absolutely roll. They're playing.
Guys, well, first of all, I mean, what a great slate of games this year.
It's awesome.
This is amazing, dude. The only thing it talks about today is the Bears aren't playing. Everything else, right now.
No, it's actually a great thing.
As of late, I was going to say, as of late, no more heartache.
We got our heartbreak out of the way for the week.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hey,
these games are awesome.
One more for y'all. Against Cincinnati, Jalen Warren over 39.5 rushing yards, 5 games straight. Over 57.5 rushing and receiving, 5 games straight. Cincinnati's defense sucks. He's going to be heavily involved in that offense and gameplay. I think that might be one of the easiest bets of the day.
Sean, you got anything else?
Jamar Chase is probably a stay away today.
You guys got anything else from that game?
That Steelers defense.
From which game?
You got to give me something to pair up with that game, Sean.
Stay away from Jamar Chase, Kyle. I don't like Jamar Chase in this game. I got him starting for my fantasy team, but the Steelers are great against receivers.
I actually bet Jamar Chase anytime touchdown today.
Oh, nice. Jamar Chase is the type of guy that can. I mean, if you're just looking at the stats, though, it's tough.
Yeah,
but
Jamar Chase could easily be.
Jamar Chase is matchup.
He could have 1 catch for 1 yard and have a touchdown. 100%.
Let's see.
Or you could have 1 catch for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Jamar Chase has been an absolute beast this year. He should have been the number 1 pick in fantasy.
I was looking at some of his props.
In terms of wide receivers, he should have been the number 1 pick.
Dude, I would feel confident with Jamar Chase over 77.5 rushing or receiving yards.
Interesting.
That's me.
Okay.
That's me.
He performs for my fantasy team today. I'm not going to bet him.
It's a division game coming off a bye, and if you go back to their stats, they absolutely torch off a bye. Joe Burrow.
And the Bengals still have a chance to stay in the playoff hunt. Unbelievably, in the AFC, they still have a chance.
How they lost those 2 games against the Ravens when Joe Burrow threw for like 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's unacceptable. I'm not blaming the coach. I don't know what happened there, but that's not acceptable.
No, I think Zach Taylor's going to be gone, guys.
Yeah, so do I. You know what? I hate to say this, guys, but I don't want Zach Taylor up there.
No. I don't want him anywhere. Maybe as an offensive coordinator, maybe, but I don't want him anywhere near my team. You guys got anything else today?
I'm just looking here, going through this sheet. I love Josh Allen over 30 rushing yards, and I play it.
You play it to 40. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna have to with that weather.
He's gonna run. That's gonna be a fun game, man. I don't care that the Niners are down and out. They still have enough parts there to make that a fun game.
I'm really down on my Niners, man. They don't have it this year. You haven't seen it once yet. So I mean, I think the Bills will probably comfortably win that game, and that sucks. But
is Brock Purdy playing?
Yeah, Purdy's playing. Purdy's gonna play, but still no Trent Williams, like Sean said, and no Bosa.
That kind of thoughts.
And George Kittle is perpetually injured, and Deebo Samuel is perpetually injured, and Christian McCaffrey has not looked good at all. So yeah, it's just all bad for the Niners right now, man. All bad.
Yeah, it's going to be the Niners offseason is going to be very interesting.
We could put a bow on this one more time before we get out of here, guys. December 16th, if you're in the neighborhood, our home, our first sponsor, our great sponsor, River Street Tavern, 102 North River Street, East Dundee, Illinois. The limited menu is just bowls. They're going to have handheld sandwiches, all the appetizers. We're going to have raffles. We went through these awesome pictures we're going to be raffling off earlier. I mentioned the only difference with this DJ Moore picture, I have a blue signature, not a black. I'm a big blue signature guy, so if you notice the theme with all the other pictures. I love the blue signatures. They pop. We're going to raise money for Bears Care, Bears charities around the holidays. Let's get some money in for the less fortunate. Put some of these faces to the people that we talked to. It would be great to see y'all come out. That's, again, December 16th versus the Minnesota Vikings. Worst case scenario, we watch another game where we watch our new stud quarterback develop against a division rival. Who knows? Maybe we'll upset Minnesota out there in Minneapolis.
I think the Bears are going to win that game.
I really hope so. We'll make for a fun night for the first outing.
I really do believe this. This is not just a biased Bears fan, just because of the trajectory of Caleb Williams, and it's the last game of the season, and it's so big, and Caleb Williams seems to show up most when it matters most. I think they're going to beat the Packers in Green Bay to finish the season. I think it's going to be the exact opposite of how we finished last season, and that would just be poetic. I mean, after how bad this season has gone, how disappointing these games have been, if the Bears can just squeak out a win against the Packers, at least you'd be going into the offseason with like some positive vibes, right?
I think we can see 3 wins for the Bears.
I was just going to say, I think 3 out of their last 4 could very well be victories.
I certainly think they could beat the Seahawks for sure. No.
That's the one I was thinking. I think they can end the season on back-to-back wins as long as Thomas Brown stays the course and continues with these wonderful game plans that he's had, and the Bears don't get too far behind the 8 ball. You know, I mean, these slow starts are eventually going to come back and bite you in the butt. So
they already have.
And the Niners game will be a toss-up to me, man. The Niners are not, like I said, they are not the team we thought they were going into this season. That will be a 50-50 game. We'll see, and they can maybe pull that one out.
And we'll post some pictures live because we'll be hopefully all together. Are you taking that game off, Dustin? You taking that day off?
I'm coming. It's at your place, right?
Yep, you'll have a Niners buddy to hang out with here.
And I'll have my Bears buddies too. Yeah, we'll be.
And the Bears.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah,
the best of both worlds for Dustin on that day.
We'll see, unless they end in a fucking tie. That's the type of season this has been. They'll end in a fucking stupid tie. Watch.
Best case scenario for everybody. A
tie. Dude, I thought the Bears-Vikings game was going to end in a tie. I'm like, oh, please, God, don't end in a tie.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to for a minute. I'm like, this is the Vikings. They took that overtime to the final seconds to win that game.
Hey, before we bust out of here, would it have been the worst if they won that game in Detroit and we had to deal with Eberflus for the rest of the year?
I mean, it's like it's hard to say that, right? Because like Eberflus is the reason they lost. So like he got what the results that he put out, you know, he got what he put in. You know, you put Eberflus in those situations, he will continue to make those decisions or not make those decisions that will lead to the negative results.
Yeah, and not only did he prove it time and time again, but the Bears gave him too many chances to prove it. He should have been fired a long time ago. He should have been retained.
Yeah, long overdue.
Hey, everybody, we got football kicking off in about 15 minutes. Rerun this, hit some cash and pass some bets. Kyle, Dustin, and I gave you some awesome shit to win some money on this week. We will see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We're going to get into Bears head coaching searches and all types. We're just going to have fun. We're going to totally riff the entire show tomorrow. Have fun with y'all. Please join us at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Kyle, I got to talk to you about Wednesday really quick. Until tomorrow night, everybody, bear down, Flus. We will never see you on our sideline again. Thank you.
Flus is loose. All right.
Flus is
Anything you want to get out there before you wrap up?
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
All right. Yeah. Let's go.
All right, everybody, bear down. Have fun on your football Sunday.
Enjoy football, guys. Great games today.